Black Rider? What became of him?
I can't say for certain, but more of them turned up after the first. They came into the town the same night as the hobbits. It was fortunate your friend Strider kept them hidden that night. Not long after, 5 of them broke down the gates and rode through the town, howling like a storm. Last anyone saw, they were traveling east.
Thank you, and goodbye.
What have we here? A stranger in town. A stranger's just what I'm looking for. Interested in a little harmless pastime? It's time to make...
What sort of pastime did you have in mind?
Why, nothing more than a simple game of riddles is all. I love a good game of riddles. But everyone in town has already heard all I know. I reckon I could stump you, though.
I've no time for games. There are important matters to attend to.
I have a lot of work ahead of me if I'm going to convince Idona's father I'll make a good match for his daughter. I've got plans, though. I'll find a way.
I hope you will both be happy. Good luck and goodbye, Rowley.
I'm not doing anything wrong. Honest, I'm not. I have received word through the Sons of Elrond and the Wandering Companies telling of your valor at Fornost. You are to be commended for your skill and daring.
I think we managed to slow down Agendaur's plans at the very least. But how have things been here since we left to find Aragorn?
All has been quiet. There was an alarm sounded at Buckland shortly after we parted company, but it seems to have amounted to nothing.
I am ready for whatever new orders you may have for me. Andriel and Farin have also volunteered their aid. How can we best be of service?
Truthfully, I would be happy for the extra hands. But it is clear to me that you 3 have a greater destiny. You may be needed more urgently elsewhere.
So what would you suggest we do?
I advise you to make your way to Rivendell. Aragorn will be eager to hear news of Agendaur, and he may have other tasks for you to perform. For now, the enemy seems to have turned away from the Shire.
Elrond's son suggested much the same thing. Very well. If that is your wish, we will depart for Rivendell.
Perhaps there is something you can do for me on your way.
Gladly. You have but to name it.
I sent 2 of my rangers, Kilaran and Luin, on patrol along the Brandywine River. They should have returned long before now. I am growing concerned for them.
They are both seasoned rangers who have served many years in this region. We can be certain they have not simply lost their way.
From which direction would they be returning?
They were to follow the Brandywine north as far as the Great East Road, and from there to make their way back by passing through the Barrow Downs.
The downs are just north of our position here.
Then we'll make our way north by way of the Barrow Downs.
Perhaps we will discover some trace of them as we travel.
You have my thanks. I know your skill as a tracker, Eridan. If Luin and Kilaran made it as far as the Downs, you should be able to pick up their trail. Farewell, and safe travels to you all.
Are you hurt? You look well enough to me. If it's healing draughts you need, you can get them from Maradan. I have a dying man on my hands.
Young Eleron is dying? But why? What's wrong with him?
Wrong? I don't really know. His wound is minor, yet his life is slipping away. I fear he is suffering from the Black Breath.
The Black Breath? What is that?
It is some power wielded by the Black Riders, the 9 Nazgul. Their victims are stricken senseless, and without aid, they soon die. I've already lost 3 men to this curse. Eleron is the only victim who yet lives.
But there is still hope. What can we do?
I hardly know. Drawing an arrow, stitching a wound. These things I have done countless times. But the Black Breath is something I know only from the old rhymes my teacher taught me.